guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to check out today's episode. And guys, today what I want to do is I want to show you all the lures and the techniques, explain how I caught them at the Lake of the Ozarks Toyota Series tournament this past week, where I made the finals in the tournament. I'm going to give you guys a complete rundown how I found the fish and how I figured out how to catch them in today's video, and hopefully it'll help you guys catch some fish this fall. It's sort of like a typical fall pattern, so we'll get into that in today's episode. Also, guys, quick reminder, just want to let everybody know that we still have the end of summer sale going on my Solar Bat Series RB2 and RB3 Series sunglasses from Solar Bat. Right now that you can get them at 30% off, and you get a free hard case with every purchase to put your glasses in. And also, if you use the promo code RandyB, capital R, capital B, you get free shipping and handling. And also, guys, please check out my Fish the Moment lake map breakdowns. We got the fall and winter maps up on the fishthemoment.com website. These are maps that I've built for fishthemoment.com. Great resources to learn more about a new lake that you've never seen, or get some good spots on your favorite lake that you do fish. So I'll put the link in the description of the video to my lake map breakdowns. Really appreciate that. Okay, guys, this is one tournament. If you guys have been following me all year long, I haven't gotten hardly any practice for the tournaments. Three of the six tournaments, three of the seven tournaments that I've fished so far this year, I only got I got no practice for two of them. And the other ones, all I got was like a day of practice, and sometimes 5 or 6 hours. So didn't have hardly any practice for the tournaments this year. Just sort of one of those things, how it unfolded. And today, in this particular tournament, I actually got about 2.5 days of practice in, which is a lot for me, and was able to, I finished the qualifying in 11th place, and then made the finals on the last day of the tournament. I want to sort of go over my primary techniques and how I caught them on, so we'll go over from day 1, 2, and 3 here. Okay, now the first day of the tournament, I had 16 pounds and 7 ounces. And well, let me run my game plan. I did my practice reports, and one of the things that I wanted to do in this tournament is that since I'm not going to try to compete with the spotlighters, I had to catch them shallow. So I looked for some of the most shallow, dirtiest water I could find. And I basically went to my old stomping grounds, the area that I wound up catching most of my fish in the tournament. Guys, I fished it since, the early 1980s. I know it like the back of my hand. So I was just fishing a lot of my old favorite spots, just old school fishing spots. And the first day of the tournament, I had 16 pounds, 7 ounces. And this was the bait that did most of my damage right here. This is my Blaukat Throwback jig. Had a Zoom Super Chunk on it here. 1/2 ounce throwback jig, 25-pound test Seaguar and Vizex line, Megabass Alkalies flipping stick. And guys, I'll put the link to all these lures in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description if you'd like to try some. But the day that I had the 16 pounds, 7 ounces, four of the 5 bass that I weighed in that tournament came on the jig here. And I basically was pitching it, flipping it around any shallow cover that I could find. My biggest fish of that day came off, there was just a lay down log in the water, came off that lay down log, caught a few on docks, one on a seawall, one on a piece of steel. Just typical shallow water, covering water, flipping a jig, the way I like to fish. And then one of the way fish I caught came on this Megabass SV3 spinnerbait here. I was just fishing along the side of a dock. I caught 2 or 3 on it, but one of the ones I weighed in came on that. This is a great spinnerbait, guys, here. You'll absolutely love this one. So that accounted for my first day bag. Now my second day bag got a lot tougher. I started out in the same type of water where I was at, and right off the bat, I caught my first 2 fish on the throwback jig. And then I bailed out because they just weren't biting, and I started just junk fishing. I caught 1 more on the jig, and I caught a couple on the crankbait that second day, which gave me almost 14 pounds, and I finished the qualifying in 11th. So yesterday, the finals day of the tournament, I didn't want to go back up the river because I really felt that those fish were done up there. It was getting tough. They just weren't biting very good. A couple of my buddies that were in the tournament, they did good the first day up there. They didn't catch them the second day. So I decided to bail out to my secondary pattern. So the first day of practice, I caught quite a few fish on boat docks, fishing this Megabass Kanata jerkbait, fishing docks with it. And I also got a lot of bites on the third day of practice on a walking topwater, a Zara spook. So my plan was, I figured if I could stay with the big jerkbait and the topwater and just start running new water and running those areas that I found in practice on the first and third day, then I might catch a big bag and come back and win the tournament. So yesterday, guys, 4 of my weigh fish in that tournament came on the Megabass Kanata. This is the big 7-inch jerkbait. I was fishing it on 15-pound test Seaguar and Vizex line with the Megabass 110 special rod on it. Now, I basically was just fishing it around boat docks, just jerking it down, keeping it shallow, keeping the rod tip high, just keeping it underneath the floats. And like I said, I caught 4 fish on that. I caught a bunch of short fish on it yesterday too. They were really biting it really good. That's the color I caught them on. I'll put the Kanata link in the description too, guys. This is a freaking awesome jerkbait, 7 inches long. So that's what accounted for the most of my fish yesterday. And they weren't biting the topwater too good. I caught a few fish on the topwater. I caught, I don't know, 6 or 7 fish, but they were all long keepers. And wound up yesterday, you know, you guys probably heard what happened at the tournament yesterday, but the limit that I caught would have weighed probably 10 or 11 pounds yesterday with that. But it was a fun tournament, man. It was just like right up my wheelhouse. This is one time a year that you can compete shallow with the spotlighters. And in retrospect, looking back, what I would have done different is I probably would have mixed it up with my jig a little bit with some type of a soft plastic, because a lot of times the jig will catch the bigger fish, but you may not get as many bites. So I figured, you know, maybe I should have mixed it up a little bit, like flipping the jig 75% of the time, and then maybe mixing it up with like a creature bait, like a Z-hog or a brush hog. But I got so much confidence in that throwback jig that, and I knew big ones would bite it. You know, I've caught a lot of big fish on that jig up the river there, and I just felt that I needed to stay with that jig if I was going to have a chance to win the tournament. But anyway, just a good solid tournament. Like I said, I hope, really appreciate you guys tuning in for my practice reports and the tournament reports, and I hope it helps you guys catch some fish, and maybe you can learn something from how I caught them there. So we'll talk later. See you guys.